MD Prepper here, talking more about homemade winemaking and prepping. Now, we're going to talk about juices, where to get the juice for your wine. You do not have to make wine out of just grapes. You can do it out of apples or any kind of fruit, and frankly quite a few vegetables. The thing that comes to most people's mind is fresh grapes, fresh apples, pears, etc. I would not start there, at least not as a rookie. You're going to make some mistakes, there's a learning curve, and frankly, getting the juice from the fresh fruit is a bit of a pain. There's a lot of steps involved and it takes a little while, a little bit more messy overall, and I was advised by the guy teaching me, don't start here. Once you're a little more confident and know what you're doing, go for the fresh fruit. Go for the apples and the pears and grapes, etc. So, what else is on the list that's easy to start with? There's a lot of great wine kits and things like that out there that you can buy online. Kind of a wine in a box, if you will, though it hasn't been fermented yet. I don't know. It doesn't have quite the prepping mentality to it. It's a little more on the more expensive side. 5-gallon kit. Runs you anywhere between $60 to $120. Makes very good wine. But I'm looking to do things on the cheap for prepping. That's kind of the mentality, I think. If I want to get a little more frou-frou, I'll go that route. Now, for basic grape wines, I would stick with these two somewhat lower cost options. They're concentrates. This one right here is a premium Burgundy concentrate. This makes 5 gallons. I think it was maybe $20 or so. Much, much cheaper than your standard little wine prepping kit box. I wouldn't go for that. Haven't used this one yet. Makes decent wine overall. Fairly good to go, fairly simple. You can also buy just basic concentrates. You can buy white grapes, you can buy etc. Whatever you want. This is basic concentrate to mix with other things generally to start things up. You can also use raisins and rehydrate those. I've got a batch of that going right now, raisin wine. So this is not overly expensive. The only problem I have with your standard grape wines, especially your darker wines, your red wines, is that it's going to take a while to age, to actually get to truly good drinking quality, which again, this is prepping, so maybe not that big a deal. I don't want to wait that long, especially when I'm starting out. And so what was advised to me is start with fruit wines. Fruit wines don't tend to have to age. They're not going to last as long on the shelf, but if you and your buddies are drinking this, you're giving away for gifts, it's not going to last that long anyway. Besides, you want to try the stuff out and see what your friends and family think about it. So what was recommended to me is start with juices. Start with bottled and canned juices. Simple as that. First thing I started with, there you go, White House, 100% juice. Apple juice, this was one of my first winemaking experiences with apple wine, and it was excellent. I'm on my, I believe, 3rd batch of this. Stellar. Easy recipe, just about impossible to screw up, and relatively inexpensive. I think this gallon jug was about $5. Throw in maybe a couple bucks extra for the sugar, maybe $1 for the yeast packet. $8 plus the water, maybe $10 for 4 to 5 bottles of wine. Very inexpensive, very good results overall. This was a good one. Anything that is 100% juice you can use, theoretically. If you've got a good recipe and don't want to experiment too much, look around. But obviously 100% of the same thing, like grape juice and apple juice, is going to be great. I've done 100% grape juice Welch's. Doesn't taste that great. It's okay. It's just a cheap grape wine. The apple wine is definitely something a little more unique. Stands out a little bit. Folks are a little more interested. Ooh, apple wine. Never had that. So I would start here. Definitely. Now, other options, other than jugs of things, you can also go for canned pineapple juice. 100% pineapple juice, no extra sugar added, no high fructose corn syrup. This makes excellent dessert wine. Very, very good, very simple. I made 2 batches of this, I believe, or maybe 3 at this point. Much more popular with the ladies even than the apple wine. They like the sweetness. You can make it a little drier as well. I'll give you those ingredients and such in the future. I have bought several versions of 100% juice. Some that was cranberry apple, etc. Those all did very well. Some of them did not turn out like I thought they would, but they were all perfectly drinkable. So for low cost, to get into things, start with 100% juice. And I'd probably stay away from grape juice. It just doesn't turn out that well. It's okay, it's drinkable, but do something a little unique. Do something a little more clever. So I'll give you the recipe for that in the future. Now, another option online, if you want to do fruit juices, you don't have to buy it from the grocery store. You can buy juice purees. This is blueberry. For a can of this, I believe this makes about a gallon. About bigger cans will make 5 or 6 gallons. Anything you want. Peaches, blackberries, blueberries, I believe apricots, etc., etc. So the fruit wines, they're going to be ready in 3 to 4 weeks. You don't have to wait forever to age them. Once you bottle them, you can drink them if you want to. I've only done one of these kits so far. It was peach, and it was my Third batch I ever made, and I did something wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. I assume it was me, but it just came out like a white wine. A very decent and drinkable white wine, but did not taste like peach at all. So I'm going to hold off on using these till I've got a few more runs under my belt. I'd stick with the bottled jugs and cans of juice first. So I'm going to save these for later. Could have been the batch. I don't think it was. Could have been the canned peaches. I think it was me. I did something wrong and I just don't know what that is. But if you got to get something out of season, you can't buy it in your stores, or if you want to store something long term, you got this. This is a perfectly decent option. But for the prepper, this is the way to go. If you're drinking apple juice anyway, keep it in stores, rotate it, and when you want to make wine, you got it. I bought a bunch of stuff at the local Ingles, which is a local grocery store here, in the juice aisle when they had a lot of things, buy one, get one free, and I went to town on that. Muscadine juice, I bought cranberry apple, you name it. All have turned into very decent drinkable wines. So we're prepping here. We're not looking to spend a fortune. You can get those high-end wine kits for $120 if you want to. I wouldn't start. That's not the way to go. Stick with the basics. I'll give you the recipe for this in the future. Hope you found this useful. Look forward to your comments. And your prepper out.